Well, good morning. It was a bit of a rough night. My dreams are really, really ramping up, and I kind of remember them when I wake up, go back to sleep, and forget them. Mostly they're about Andy, but I do remember the one I just had, which was that Andy was in hospital and he was dying, and everyone was there, and but we'd come away from the room, and I felt like I needed to get back to see him, but I was busy running around buying people chips and lime squash. Oh, and then after that, I was out on my bike, and these other people who were in this big truck came and gave me cans of beer and like their leftovers beer, and I'm going, I don't drink. And then they were whizzing around on this board with like flames coming out of the back on their bellies, and it crashed through the tent that we stood in and exploded. Go analyse that, Sigmund Freud. Anyway, I don't want to get up today, but I have to peel myself out of bed to go and get my cup of tea. Oh, bring back the teas, maids. I'm sure they're far more modern than the 60s and the 70s. I remember my mum and dad's one, and I had one as well. You just go boop, boop, boop to get you up and make you a cup of tea or coffee for you. It was great. Oh, I have to look into one of them. No, I'll get myself out of bed because I'm doing something quite exciting today. I'm not going to ramble on much this morning. You'll be pleased to know I heard from Rob yesterday, and we're going to go and meet at the 100th. So most of my vlog today will be about the 100th. So that will be cool. Looking forward to going out there. I'm starting the day off healthily with just some overnight oats. There is only a tiny bit of oats in there though. It's mostly sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds. What else have I got in there? Nuts, really like liquidised down. And I decided this morning that I fancy some Turkish tea. So, chin chin. When you wish you hadn't started watching something. Everyone kept going on about this Married at First Sight. I kept thinking, what a load of rubbish. I started watching it last night. This could be my new addiction. Oh dear. Here at the 100th, just had a lovely cup of Americano, nice posh coffee, and with Rob, a lovely time, about an hour or so, just catching up and reminiscing and talking about Andy, of course, and I've given him the books. Now we're going to go off and explore. Might have to do a bit of retail therapy. This makes me feel sick just looking at it. Look, see how they climb into these. I can't imagine it. Ugh. Look, that's my hand. Look, it's tiny. Tiny. You hear about bombs, look, that's a £500. Puts into perspective. So the 100th was an American base in World War II, and it is still going, the 100th, based at Mildenhall, and it's the refuelling wing. Putting another thing in perspective of size, this is the Browning M42. It's huge. So it's only the second time I've been here, but it's lovely. We've been down in the memorial room for the American airmen, and it's really, you just feel something when you walk in there. It feels really quite cold, and it just gives you goosebumps. And I've just been listening, there's a telephone here, an old-fashioned telephone, where you can dial a number and actually hear the voices of some of the airmen, and one has just explained why it was called the bloody 100 is because it had the most losses, severe losses, and the worst place was to be in the tail gun or the turret, obviously, because you're very vulnerable there. And there's only one, so it's the B-17, the Flying Fortress that flew from here. There's only one left in this country, which is at Duxford, which is called Sally B, who also was in the film The Memphis Belle. Great movie, so I'm going to go and watch that probably a little bit later. And actually, apparently, on Sally B, down one side, she's got Memphis Belle written on her or painted on her as well. Apparently, there was, before the Memphis Belle that most of us know, there was another film called Memphis Belle well, actually filmed during war years. She flew from Bassingbourn in Kent, I think that is. And yeah, she was actually a movie for, I couldn't think of the word then. That's not like me, is it? And propaganda. That's what it was used for, propaganda purposes. It's been a wonderful time here. I've learnt so much that I didn't even learn before. Learn more about the war and about the American Air Force and just about this area generally. And Rob's told me loads of great other airfields and museums to go to, so I'm definitely going to be checking them out to watch this space. And the lovely lady said that I can go and sprinkle. I can go and sprinkle some of Andy, and I wanted to do it from up there at the watchtower because it's quite magical up there, but it was very windy earlier and it was very, very busy, but it's empty now. Not too windy, but it probably will be up there, so I'm probably going to get covered, but we'll go see. This is the control tower, and when you look at this map you get a bit more of an idea of how big this base was. There's little silver bits of planes. This is where we are now. This is the taxi thing, and these are the runways, shaped, as someone just said, like a gun, machine gun. It's really, get a real feel of it in here as well. So that was the view in 1944 from this window. It is quite windy out there, but I'm going to give it a go.
now back home. It's been a great day. Really, really enjoyed catching up with Rob and just talking about this, that and everything and putting the world to rights, really, but mostly about travel, actually. And he has made me think a bit about my travel plans for winter. Oh my goodness, here she goes again. Change. Because I was going to get a multi-city flight over to Australia, then to Bali, then to India. And I'd put on this solo traveller site about how much, you know, it's £1,400 more for me to do the solo tour in India. And someone put on there, well, you can do India yourself for 26 days for a month for £1,400. And then I thought, well, yeah, that's okay if you're fit, young and able-bodied, but I really need to go on a tour. And actually, I don't feel safe going to another country like that, to go and tour the country in the tour that I want to do. It just doesn't feel safe for me to go and do that, because I can't really protect myself, you know. I could just whack them with my walking stick, I suppose, but yeah, it just doesn't feel safe for me. So I'm going to have to pay for a tour. But now I'm thinking, maybe I'll just get one-way ticket to Australia and see where life takes me. Anyway, we also met a great guy, Patrick Redford, today. I think that's his name, yeah, Rayford. Sorry, Pat Rayford. He is on Facebook, and they're all in their kit. Him and his friends in their gear. I've got a little photo for them that'll be in the photos, but. He's on Facebook. He's also on Facebook as Retro Rose Vintage, because they run a recording studio in Halston, which is a retro vintage type recording studio with totally different sounds. So that sounds really cool. And he's also in a band. There's some stuff on his YouTube, which you can get the link through Pat Rayford onto his YouTube, and there's some really good stuff on there, sort of band music. They do sort of the hangers, they do swing music, jazz, so I'm going to keep my eyes open for that and hopefully have me a little jig in my chair one day at one of these concerts or these do's. That would be good. For now, I'm going to eat my dinner and lots of leftovers that people have given me, not their leftovers, they've given me my leftovers from food people have made me, and sit and watch some more of that programme that I've got, Married at First Sight, if my internet stops playing up. But the other thing, I wasn't just doing that this morning. What I was doing, because I love picking up stones, you know, I've got loads of stones. I've got some heart-shaped stones. And in fact, you know what, when I went to Spain, I picked some stones up from a beach for Arthur, my grandson. And when I got back, I gave him these stones in this shell, and he went, oh, thank you, May. It was like I'd given him gold, because it is precious, isn't it, these gifts? So I'm going to see if he wants to clean those up. And I was looking at a stone tumbler, they're like 60 quid. So I got to looking about how to do it naturally, and it said just basically a toothbrush. But what I did this morning was I put my stones, or some of my stones, in soak in hydrogen peroxide and some water, because it makes it fizz a bit. Gave them a soak, gave them a little bit of a scrub. And now I'm going to sandpaper them while I'm sitting watching the next episode, and then put some wax on them. I'm not going to touch Arthur's ones, because it's up to him if he wants me to glim them, blim, oh, you know, shine them up, whatever. So I'll leave that to be his choice. But for now, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to put my feet up, watch TV, eat, and do a bit of shoe shining. Ta-da for now. See you tomorrow. Maybe.